Welcome to your Research Business Daily Report, this special edition sponsored by Decipher. Yesterday, General Mills Vice President of Consumer Insights, Gail Fuguitt, laid out for RBDR both the opportunities and the unaddressed issues associated with two of her forward-looking research concerns, notably globalization and mobilization. Today, she delves into socialization and localization, then ties the four together. Gail, thanks for agreeing to come back and talk with us about the other two consumer force areas that you think are critical. And the first is socialization. First of all, let's define it and then explain to us why that's critical.
Thanks, Bob. So socialization, I think this one is, pretty obvious to so many of us that social media is the way that consumers are connecting with each other. And it's really kind of figuring out how to market to a segment of one and identify where and how we can reach consumers and how they can reach back to us and share their insights about what their needs are in real time again. So similar to mobile, but what's interesting about social media is really it's a three-way conversation. It's consumers talking to us being able to ask them questions, but equally important, maybe the most important, is consumers talking to each other and influencing each other and being able to tap into those conversations. So as researchers, we're going to need to have much better listening skills, and we're going to need to be able to be much more agile in terms of going out and being able to synthesize information from the standpoint of the consumer and how they are sharing information back with us, not just the way that we're asking.
How do you get a researcher to have better listening skills?
Well, I think we have a lot of different training opportunities and training programs, but I think experientially is basically going out and spending time with consumers, more time with consumers, and then coming back and spending equally more time discussing what you heard and developing the skill of talking to each other about what you heard and what you think consumers, not only what you specifically heard consumers saying, but what you think consumers mean by what they're saying, and then being able to dial back. And, I really like the emergence of this kind of notion of iterative research, where you pull some information, some insights, and then you iterate and you go back and you pull some more information and insights, and then you iterate back again, and so on and so forth. And I think that's a bit of the listening, because you realize maybe the first time, like you suggested, maybe you weren't listening that well. You need to go back and really listen more carefully to what they really are saying, because getting things correct and from the lens of the consumer can really make the difference between a really knock it out of the park product and one that is just pretty ho-hum.
Okay. And fourth and finally on your list is localization.
So localization is really so important because this is where consumers' values emanate from, and so we see groups of consumers that believe in fair treatment to animals and organic food products, and they don't believe in vaccinations, and they maybe eat gluten-free products even though they don't have celiac disease. Those are examples of local needs and values in a specific group of consumers that might not emerge just from looking at the world through demographics, but their feelings are so strong that it's critically important for us to be able to understand them. And they're so strong and combined with social networking that when they network to other people, there's really a powerful coalition of support for these needs, and they can really mark and signify big business opportunities. Okay,
so in the last 2 days, you've talked with us about globalization, about mobilization, socialization, and localization. Is the potential synergies between the four all that critical, or are these as standalones going to be still so valuable to us?
Oh, I think they're completely interactive, and the consumer's right at the center of them. So it's the consumer in control, and globalization is about emerging markets and about trends and trends in values and traditions translating over into brand equity value, and then socialization and mobilizing, and then also localizing. Those are all about the consumer actually determining how are they going to communicate with us and what might they have to share, and how can we listen to what they have to share. And the technology platforms are going to continue to evolve. So they'll evolve from Twitter to Facebook to whatever's the latest thing on mobile, to gamification, to any other, emerging markets, to augmented reality. I mean, there are always going to be new technologies coming along, but what has really changed is that the consumer is at the center, determining how they're going to be interacting with each other and with us. And I think that's where the big opportunity is for us as researchers.
Gail, August 1st, you are retiring from General Mills, and I just want to, first of all, thank you for all your help over the years and for the great work that General Mills has done on the research front. So from a personal and professional standpoint, I want to wish you all the best as you move on. I know you're not leaving research.
Thanks, Bob. No, I'm a researcher, once a researcher, always a researcher, and back at you. You have made a really tremendous impact on the industry, and all of us that have been leading organizations around the globe are grateful to you for everything that you've done to support our voice and our mission.
Okay. Thank you. Best of luck, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks.
That's your Research Business Daily Report, this special Friday edition sponsored by Decipher. We hope you've had a great week. We wish you a great weekend, and we look forward to greeting you again on Monday.